Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Phatkat Collection. Today we're going to be talking about the Oceaneva Deep Marine 6,000 meter diver. This is one of their Deep Marine Explorer 4s. This is their newest release, and I am so excited I got my hands on it. I just got it out of the mail today, and you guys are in for a treat. So let's check it out. So I'm just going to hit you right with the watch. Like, no talking, just right at you with it. It is absolutely stunning. And so let me give you my first impressions, like right out of the box. And I'm going to show you the box, talk about the specifications, show you what it looks like on the wrist, and then you guys make the decision whether or not you want to get this on pre-sale right now. The specs on this are insane. Like, they're knocking so many brands out of the water. And I've said it many times when it comes to Oceaneva. If I had to choose one watch brand out of my collection that I would, I guess, trust my life with, like if I had, I wouldn't normally do this, right? But if I had to pick one, somebody said, hey, you know what watch of all the watches you have are you going to possibly, like, if you had to risk your life using, for, you know, whatever the case may be, which brand would you choose? And without a doubt, it would be Oceaneva. That doesn't mean the other brands are not as good. It doesn't mean the other brands aren't beautiful watches, right? Quality, once you have good quality, I talk about that all the time in my videos. When you have good quality, you have good quality, and there's subtle differences. But this is one of these watches that, one of these brands that mainly prides themselves on these being tool watches, right? So let me just kind of show you some close-ups here, and it is absolutely stunning. Now, I went with, this is a red gradient, and there was only a couple colors for my collaboration. I had the choice to go with the green, which is more like an OD green. I had the choice to go with the bright yellow, which I originally decided was the one I wanted. Then, of course, this gradient red and black. And ultimately, I ended up going with the red and black just because it's a little bit more, subtle, right? You know, I think when it comes to watches that I know that, you know, I'm going to wear often, I tend to go with black or white. White was my first choice because I didn't have a watch that's all white band, all white face. And honestly, the owner of this company did say, hey, do the review. When that comes in, when it's available, we'll swap it out for you. But it's not really a big deal. I think this is a beautiful watch, and I'm going to show you guys this watch. I'm actually going to edit today. I'm going to show you this watch on the rubber strap, and we'll talk about this as well. It's beautiful. I mean, this watch is friggin' awesome. But I also want to put it on one of the other Oceaneva bracelets that I'm going to take off a different Oceaneva, because you folks know I'm a bracelet guy. And so, again, that doesn't... You remember when they're coming out with these watches, they're trying to give you a lot of bang for your buck, insane specs, but also bringing in at a certain price point. And when I talked to him, I said, why didn't you do this is grade 5 titanium, by the way. Why didn't you do grade 5 titanium bracelet or Damascus or something? And it just becomes too expensive, right? There's a sweet spot for a lot of brands. Only luxury brands like Rolex and a lot of those other, you know, overpriced brands, in my opinion, can get away with, you know, jacking the price up super high because people are paying, in my opinion, for the name. With Oceaneva, they want to provide you with a watch that gives you incredible quality, incredible specs, and they keep really thinking outside the box. I think it's great that they did grade 5 titanium because there's not a lot of watch companies using grade 5 titanium. So we'll discuss a little bit about that as well. But let me just kind of give you guys some close-ups. So this is a typical standard diver, right? Some would say, hey, this is a Submariner homage. I don't say that about Oceaneva watches. Remember, just because a watch has a round face and it's a basic design doesn't make it a homage. They're not trying to copy Rolex, right? It's a round watch. It's got their own design, their own face, their own bezel. They did on this a Damascus bezel, which I think is an awesome addition. So I love this watch. I did tell them, I hope you guys come out with a Damascus bracelet. But he was saying the price would be like $400. And that gets harder for people to rationalize that, right? But they might do like a printed, some sort of kind of cool plating or whatnot. Or even like a combination of maybe, I didn't say this, but maybe a combination of stainless and, you know, every other link Damascus. Who knows? We'll see. All I know is that this brand is awesome, and I'm really fortunate to be able to collaborate with them. And this is a beautiful piece. So, and I want to thank them for their generosity and always wanting to collaborate with Phatkat Collections. It's appreciated. And you guys also, the link is in the description. Use my coupon code. There's not a lot of coupon codes for Oceaneva. You can still take advantage of the coupon code. I believe even with the pre-sale, you won't know until you go there. But right now, this watch right now is on sale for $8.99. Now, they do have a list price, regular price of $4,000. Remember, every watch brand does that. I don't know, once these are off special, what they'll actually sell for. But I can tell you, the specs you're getting on this are incredible. I mean, incredible. So, let me just first show you kind of the box here, even though we already have it open. Box is equally impressive. They really went above and beyond. Standard kind of dive case style, but this is different than the other Oceaneva cases. I don't know if I have one here, but this one, they really beefed up the case. This is something you'd get from like Pelican. I mean, it's kind of similar to the Invicta ones, but they did their own thing. They have their own kind of design on this. I like that they did something different with the top. I love that it's like this kind of Smurf blue with the Oceaneva logo. It is one of my favorite logos on any watch brand. I love the name, and I love the basic trident. It's awesome. I mean, it really is. It's a beautiful, beautiful presentation. It's a beautiful case. And when we open this up, as I drop stuff here, we have a very cool Oceaneva. I don't know what this is. It's like a coin. It's just like a little, like a collector coin or something like that. I don't know. It goes in the box like so. You do get a polishing cloth, and the polishing cloth is actually branded. It's embossed with the Oceaneva logo here. You got the trident, and I mean, it's probably hard to see in the camera. And then you get, of course, the push pin remover for it's like a screwdriver actually for, I believe this is taken off the buckle. And you get, this is pretty standard stuff. I mean, just all of it's very nice. Yeah, it looks like this is like a stainless steel like card, basically, warranty card, little instruction manual, and of course the reference to the grade 5 titanium, the certificate of authenticity, the number. This is only available in each color to 50. I have number 1 of the red and black. I feel honored, and the date of purchase, of course, is the date it was gifted to me, basically. So pretty cool hang tag, kind of the standard stuff. Again, there's no, like, some companies will put in just a very basic crummy screwdriver. Like they always put in quality with everything they do. Like, this is a nice screwdriver. It's probably the nice screwdriver I've ever seen come with a watch. So they definitely give you a certain level of quality, and then they include this kind of Oceaneva keychain. So, cool, right? Not bad. All right, now let's get to the meat and potatoes here. So let me come back to it. So this is going to have all the specs. I hate using other YouTubers' terminology, but this is going to have, this is a spec monster, right? This is beyond a spec monster, right? So let's just, and remember this too. I want you guys to kind of put some perspective too. When you look at watches, you might find an Invicta, and you guys know I like Invicta, right? But you might find Invicta that says, hey, this Venom has got a 1,000 meter depth rating. I don't doubt that, right? But I do doubt sometimes when it comes to brands like that, much as I like them, I don't necessarily know if maybe it can do that, right? But when a brand like this says something, I think Oceaneva has a little bit more credibility. There is a little bit more attention to detail. It is a smaller company. There's more I'd say oversight in what's coming off the line, right? And the final product. It's being looked at. It's being inspected. These are the kind of things which I think says a lot in today's day and age of watch manufacturers, or really manufacturers of anything, right? So pretty awesome. So, all right, let me start the specs. I'm going to talk about some of the colors, and we'll just kind of go from there. All right, so right now pricing this $899. I mean, pretty incredible for specs. I don't know many watches that have a 6,000 meter depth rating. Like, that's insane. They are only available to 500 units, 50 in each variant. And I'm not going to read you the whole spiel, but the model number, it's not important. It's the Deep Marine 4. I've reviewed already the Deep Marine 2. I've been trying to get my hands on the 3 just because I want another Oceaneva. Dial on this is a half red, half black with gray leaf wave dial. So you can see it does have sort of a waviness to it. And I'm going to do another video of this just close up without me in it, but I'm just so excited to share it with you guys today. Man, I almost got to throw this on the wrist again. I've been wearing this since I left the post office, and it is just, honestly, very rarely do I put a rubber strap watch on and almost like, I almost feel bad putting this on bracelet, but because it looks great on the rubber, and I'm really surprised I'm saying that, because my intention was to take the rubber off and throw this right on a bracelet, but I gotta tell you, I'm gonna go back and forth, see what I like better. So key features here of this here, all right? We have grade 5 titanium. It is serial numbered, and there's only 50 again of each color. And it says, why grade 5 titanium? So grade 5 titanium is 220% stronger and 225% harder than stainless steel, yet 40% lighter. It's resistant to scratches and corrosion. It's built for ultimate durability. So, you know, a lot of times when you look at, remember, this is a bragging right? In the real world, the average user does not really need grade 5 titanium. It's just like when I make the reference to 904. And I don't want you guys to say, well, Phatkat, why grade 5? Why are you trying to sell grade 5 titanium now when you're saying you don't need when you come down on 904? 904 is something mainly used by Rolex. There's a few other brands that use it. And yes, 904 is, you know, it's definitely got more, I believe, nickel content. So it's got a better corrosion resistance. Yes, this too, right? Do you need grade 5 titanium watch? Not really, unless you are a diver. A watch of this size, does a 40% weight reduction really make a difference? Not really. To me, it feels about the same on the wrist. But what I like about this material, just like and what I like about this material is grade 5 titanium, and it's only $899. Not 904 stainless steel and $5,000. Okay, that's a real distinction between why. If watches were, if I had let's just say another brand came out, and let's say Oceaneva tomorrow was like, hey, we're doing a 904 version. I'd be like, that's really cool. I don't have a 904 version. Is it going to make any real world difference for my use? Absolutely not. But one thing about this material, it is more scratch resistant. And my understanding of 904 is that when you have that more higher nickel content, I believe it's softer, and I don't believe, and if I'm wrong, correct me on this, but my opinion is that why they use 904 is that it polishes easier. So if something's softer, it'll polish easier, and they can kind of refurb these watches for the pre-owned market and keep the used Rolexes selling, right? Again, this is my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but at the end of the day, I want you guys to you don't need grade 5 titanium. You don't need titanium. You just need regular plain old stainless steel. However, having something like this, it's built for that depth rating. This is a bragging right to have a depth rating of 6,000 meters. And part of being able to do that is having an extremely strong case. And 225% stronger and harder. What does it mean in real world as far as those specifications? It's going to be more resistant to scratching, right? So that's fantastic for that price point. 44 millimeter case diameter, 22 millimeters lug to lug. That's for the strap. And then, of course, 49.5 lug to lug width, and then 18.2 in thickness. This at the thickest point. This is a thick watch. When we compare it, some of you sensitive dudes aren't gonna like this. This is a beefy, thick watch. You can see it compared to the standard Deep Marine 2. It's definitely got some size to it, which for me personally, I love, because I like a watch to have a little thickness. I love divers that are very thick. And, you know, for me personally, a watch having a 6,000 meter depth rating, this is going to go in the shower and hot tub, right? This is going to be caught in the rain. But it's cool to have it. And that's really why a lot of people choose different watches. Again, and I'll repeat it, 6,000 meters. And it's only one of 3 global brands capable of achieving that feat. The Deep Marine 4 can withstand depths. Very few watches can. And that's very true. I can't even think of another brand doing a 6,000 meter depth rating. It does have a Swiss-made movement, so when we get to the movement, those specs I talk about, you know, we have an amazing case. We have a unique case material, which is already, for a watch collector, something you should want to get. And of course, now we have a Sellita SW200. It doesn't need any more, you don't need any more information about that, because I don't really, you know, I can't dig into why that movement's better, why it's a top tier movement, but it's found in tons of brands. It's Swiss-made, you're getting a Swiss-made watch. Remember, Swiss-made, be considered that, it falls within that designation, right? You can look all that up. But it does have a Sellita, and when you have a Sellita, you're definitely going to get a watch that warrants a higher price compared to an NH35, right? You're starting to get up to that more top tier level watches. Has a unidirectional bezel. This one is Damascus. They use a combination of 304 and 316 stainless steel, just like my previous collaboration with them, the Damascus steel, where they do the whole case and bezel on this. I love Damascus. I think it's unique. There's not a lot of Damascus watches out there. I love they did the Damascus bezel on this, because it took another really cool feature from a different watch and tied it to this, where you have something interesting to look at. When you look at this watch, you know, you don't just have your standard bezel that's just stainless steel, or, you know, it stands out. And I love when they use different types of materials in one watch. So that's made of 304 and 316 stainless. The bezel is both stunning and functional. It's engraved with engraved with grade A Swiss Luminova lume. It guarantees readability even in pitch black water. So again, tool watch meant for diving. The Oceaneva watches are incredible. Whenever I'm wearing one and I go to bed, it always reminds me of how great the lume is on these. So I'm not going to give you a lume shot, but incredible. And it just says here, grade A lume will shine brighter, longer lasting versus standard. It does have that helium escape valve on the side. That's pretty standard on a diver, right over here. What else? And again, I'm going to actually edit this video, show you what this looks like on another Oceaneva bracelet, just to give you an idea of what you can do with it. Relief wave dial design, a meticulously textured dial inspired by the ocean waves, paired with stainless steel hands and blue tip sweeping second hand. Check it out. Love it. I mean, it's just such an, I mean, a watch like this, I don't know why. When you have watches like this, I don't know why anybody would buy a Rolex. Wait, I do. The name. It says it's got the engraved inner bezel, just like Rolex on the inside of the bezel. They have engraved Oceaneva all around. You probably can't see that in the video here, but hopefully you can get a little closer here. Again, I'll link to the other video here where I'm doing this close-up only. It does have a sapphire crystal. It's a 6mm sapphire crystal, so super thick, super scratch resistant, and it's thicker so that it can withstand that 6,000 meter depth rating. And as far as the strap on this, it's not just a silicone strap. They're using high-quality German FKM rubber. It's paired with the grade 5 titanium polished buckle. And what I like about this, and what I wasn't sure, see if I can show you here. There we go. Twist my arm there. Nice, big, high-polished buckle. What I wasn't sure of this watch, too, is what kind of sheen it was going to have. And we look at another Oceaneva. This is one of their GMT titaniums. It's definitely more of like a brushed, darker titanium. This grade 5, it's very similar in look to stainless steel. It just has a slightly darker kind of appearance. It's very similar. So that's great because you can still throw on like a standard stainless steel bracelet on this and not have to worry about getting something that matches. Kind of like when you're buying a brass, not like when you're buying a brass watch or a bronze watch. One thing I don't like about bronze watches is you are pretty much stuck to wearing it on a standard rubber strap or a leather strap. I think looks best. I would love to have a bronze or brass strap or bracelet. You just can't find them. So this is nice that you don't have such a finish on this or a color tint that you're not going to find a bracelet that looks good. And I'll show you in the rest of the video here. What else do we got here? It does have screws on the buckle. I'm not going to read you about the thoughtful design elements. It does have a screw down crown, of course, with the Trident logo. I'll show you a couple close-ups too. Stay tuned. And it just says here, a helium escape valve and an engraved case back featuring the iconic statue from Virginia Beach that inspired this brand by Oceaneva. I didn't know that. So I guess there's a statue of Virginia Beach showing off, I guess, I don't know who it is. It looks like some, I don't know if it's, it reminds me of like something from Aquaman, but very cool. I don't know who, Poseidon maybe? I'm not sure. And I encourage you to click the link in the description and you can really see the high resolution close-up pictures of the finishing on this. It is absolutely breathtaking. So now, this is what Oceaneva says about their watch too. It says, I'm not going to read you all this, but it says this is a luxury grade timepiece without the $8,000 to $35,000 price tag. Absolutely. This is exactly one of these watches where when you have a luxury brand come out and be like, oh, you can't compare luxury brands to affordable brands. Fucking nonsense. You absolutely can. These are incredible. I'll put this up against any luxury brand on earth. Absolutely. It only weighs 4.6 ounces. It's engineered to endure the most extreme conditions. Again, look at the close-up pictures. Check it out. Even if you don't buy one, even if $8.99 is out of your budget, use my coupon. You can still, it's still worth checking out if you're a watch collector, and maybe you'll be able to pick one up someday. It's awesome. I know the seller here, the owner here was like, he said to me, he's like, you can sell it if you want, after, we release. And I'm just like, I was surprised because I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm selling this. Like, that's not like, when it comes, there are some watches that I get that, I'll collaborate with a brand. Sometimes there's a watch that I'll review. It's nice, but I have so many watches. It's just almost like a sin to have that many. They don't always get worn. But Oceaneva is a watch that there's never an intention on ever getting rid of it, whether worn or not. So this one will definitely get worn. Polished bezel, brush side cases and case back, polished lugs. And again, went over the box and the warranty. It has a commemorative, the 6,000 meter launched a kind of commemorative coin, which is pretty cool. Yeah, they really, what's interesting about this company is I feel like they've really they're pretty excited about this one, and you know, rightfully they should be. I'm just looking over the specs right now, see if I missed anything. I think I touched on all the main points. Again, I'm going to link to the watch in description, my coupon code. I'm also link to the close-up only video on this. I will be reviewing this again. I always come back to Oceaneva, and right now let me switch over to the bracelet, see what it looks like on bracelet. Okay, folks, just slapped this on the other Oceaneva bracelet. I absolutely love it. Check it out. Now, I know you guys have seen bracelets before, right? So it's not like you guys, if you've been watching me for a while, you guys know there are so many watches that are typical 3-link bracelets that are, you know, that 44mm case diameter. But regardless, I never get sick of looking at a brand new watch or enjoying a new watch or sharing a new watch with you guys. This is stunning. I absolutely love it on bracelet. It looked great on the black FKM rubber strap, but this watch, a watch of this price point, a watch of this specs, it just needed stainless steel, and I absolutely love it. Now, one thing I really like too is that if you look at the grade 5 titanium, you know, it doesn't look out of place. It doesn't look like it doesn't blend in with this standard, you know, 316 stainless steel bracelet. It's wonderful. I love that they did a combination of, you know, brush finishing and mirror polishing, because then you could take a bracelet like this and change it up. I do think it would be wise of Oceaneva to offer bracelets for sale, and if you go to their store, it doesn't seem like they have. Let me just see if I'm missing something here. Yeah, you can only buy straps. So, and a lot of the straps are reasonably priced, like $44, $64 if you want the Damascus buckle. But they don't have any of the bracelets, which I find really odd. But I guess a lot of their watches do come on bracelets, so they probably don't offer it. But I'm going to see if I can get my hands on another one, because I would really like to throw the other GMT on bracelet again. But you can easily find something, you know, like when we look at the Damascus. You know, this is kind of an example of a watch where if I had this on standard stainless steel, it might not look as good. So using this is just an Aragon shark mesh bracelet. I think the combination of the finishing, the different textures, it kind of takes away that this stainless steel doesn't really match the Damascus finish on the watch, but it blends very well on that. If you had this watch, that if it didn't have the mirror polishing, you might notice the fact that the 316 stainless steel has a slightly different color than the actual grade 5 titanium case, but it's so close when looking at it like this, because remember the brush finish is on the side of the case, and when you roll it forward, we have mirror polishing on the tops of the lugs. So that complements really nice. You don't notice it so much on the mirror polishing, like when you look at that grade 5 titanium on the top of the lug there, and down the center of the 316, it's very difficult to tell the difference. It looks great. I absolutely love it. I'm glad I was able to put this on bracelet. Now, let's throw it on the wrist here. Oh my God, man, check that out. What a great looking piece. And more importantly, remember, now I know I made the right decision. I originally chose that yellow, and it would have looked wonderful as well. They're all great colors, but the red and black gradient just is a little more subtle, a little less screaming, hey, look at me, I'm a Doxa dive watch. It's a wonderful, wonderful watch, and I absolutely love it. What a piece, man. All right, so as far as color combinations on this here, you have a few different ones, and I know you guys are going to go and check out the link anyway, but we have the blue gradient, we have the black, which probably would have been. The black's pretty nice as well. We have this one, the red gradient. We have the orange, which is pretty nice. The white is beautiful. The yellow, that would have been pretty cool too. With the red, I'm glad I chose the red. You know, be honest with you, I chose the yellow at first. I said to my mom, which one do you like better? She's like, I like the red. And I was like, shit, I just already requested a yellow. So I emailed my guy back and I was like, dude, I changed my mind. So gotta listen to mom, right? Then we have just the regular blue. We have the green. We have the... looks like this one is more of a, this is more of a, it's black. Oh, I'm sorry. So this one here has the Ocean Wave. So the first ones I mentioned, is that right? No. So the one, when you go to the site and you look at the top black one, just keep in mind when you're ordering, if you order, that the top one in the middle, that black has the full Damascus dial, whereas the other ones have the wave dial. And so if you do like Oceaneva and you have a couple in your collection, be conscious when you order, if you already have a Damascus, you might want to get the wave dial, because this wave dial is specific to this new model. So just make sure you order the right black. And of course, they just have the solid red. So what's my favorite? So the white was really calling me, but now that I got this on bracelet, I don't know, the red looks great. The point being, no matter whichever color you get, you're going to be blown away with the quality you get. Now, I just want to kind of address things too, because when I do videos, I don't always, like, I don't want you guys to take what I say in one video and then come back to this and be like, yeah, see, look, you change your tune. Remember, when you buy a watch, if you buy a watch like this, okay, and you compare it to an Invicta Pro Diver or an Aragon or a Bulova, are you going to see a difference that is insanely different? No. You're not. You're not going to pick up one. I'm never going to go back to that argument that a lot of the watch snobs have, that you're going to pick up one brand, and a luxury brand, and pick up a brand like this or Invicta and say, oh, this is a piece of shit compared to that. Not the case. But you will notice, I think, just a real level of build quality, right? And you're also going to have the peace of mind of knowing that this watch has a thicker crystal. It's a spec monster. It's got that Solida movement. It's grade 5 titanium. It's got all the specs you could possibly want in a real machine of a diver. And it not only, you know, if they would have just done a regular ceramic bezel or titanium bezel on this, it would not be as beautiful. I think what really makes this watch is having that Damascus bezel, and I'm really glad they did that. And when I first saw that they were coming out this watch, and I said, okay, this is going to be very similar to the other ones, right? But then when I looked at it, I saw they did that Oceaneva dial and they did Damascus bezel on top of that amazing grade 5 titanium. I'm blown away. It's such a great looking piece, and I know if you add one to your collection, you're absolutely going to love it. It's the kind of watch that you can wear. You can just, it is a true tool watch. Now, I also want to compare it to something else in my collection. Aquadive. This is also a tool watch, more of a vintage style, right? This watch is going to run you $2 grand. And it does not have the specs that this watch has. It's close. It's a great watch, don't get me wrong. But this one here, again, grade 5 titanium, 6,000 meter dive rating is like, that's 20,000 feet. That is enough bragging rights right there. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So, you know, if you're just buying a watch to tell time, you don't really care about all that, they have a lot of other models for you that are a little cheaper. But right now, with the price on these, you really be dumb not to get this particular model for the price, because once these are off the pre-sale, they are going to jump up in price. I'm predicting around a $2,000 everyday price. Get it while you can. You'll thank me later. So thanks for watching. I want to thank Oceaneva. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Use my coupon code, use my link. Have a fantastic day, and take care.